This podcast features immature people talking about very mature content and is intended only for adult audiences. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Pen is Mightier, the world's greatest and possibly only audio fanfiction and erotica competition. I'm your host, Paul JP, and on today's episode, we have such a saucy selection of genital jousters, and I am bursting with excitement to introduce all of them to you today. First off, we have the co-host of the podcast, I'm Not Mad at You, and the YouTube channel Things with Cats. It's Grace Smith.
Hello. I hope everyone's ready for prolonged arousal.
Next, we have an improviser and comedian known for his work in the Toronto-based show MCU Improvised and for his mind-bending attendance at literally all of the 24 hours of improv marathon at Bad Dog Theatre in Toronto, 4 years running. A true fan of comedy, and of course, we're all fans of him. It is Brian Edwards.
Oh, you're so kind. This is so exciting, and I'm titillated to be here.
Good word. And then lastly, we have a co-host of the excellent podcast, the Improv Punch-Up, which you can find at podcavern.com. It is Leslie Cserepy.
Oh, Paul, baby. I am so excited to be here. I just got off the genital jousting pitch.
How'd it
I had
go?
a good showing.
Okay, good. Yeah.
That's all I'll say. I had a good showing.
You're like the Gretzky of genital jousting. Like, you score a lot of goals, but you're mainly known for your assists.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the ball going? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, how can you help it get there?
Exactly. Also,
Cool.
Oilers? That's a thing?
Yeah.
Sounds plausible. I believe you immediately.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Oilers. Shout out to anybody listening in Edmonton. Alrighty. How are we all doing today, everybody? How's everybody? It sounds like we're all in a boisterous mood.
Oh, yeah, we're rowdy over here. After months of absolutely no titillation whatsoever. This is a lot in one day. It's a bit like a sugar high. I'm already excited. We haven't started.
Oh, you want me to speak to human beings instead of just be alone all the time? I'm ecstatic, Paul. Are you kidding me?
All right, I'm so happy. We're in the right atmosphere. We're all in good moods. I'm ready to go. And for you, the listening audience today, these performers are going to go head to head, presenting readings of erotica in hopes of winning the approval of the others. And along the way, we're going to play a couple of short bonus games for a little bit of extra credit. And at the end of the episode, we will all collectively decide who we think has done enough to be named this week's champion. And the theme of this week's episode is unique. And I chose this theme because I think there's so much potential just loaded in that word. So who here is uniquely prepared to claim victory? It's time to find out.
Oh, boy.
This is the most prepared I've ever been for a podcast recording.
100%.
Absolutely. I proofread. Like, first I wrote a draft, then I wrote a second draft, and then I proofread. And then I read it out loud to practice all the silly voices I'm going to do. This is the most uniquely prepared I have ever been. This is very strange for me.
Grace, my brain prepared me for this. I dreamt the opening line of my story, literally. I was having a dream about working on this podcast.
We're really going back to like...
Well, now I have to write the story.
Yeah, we're going back to the age of like prophetic dreams here.
We're telling stories on this podcast? That's how prepared I am.
Yeah. You got it, buddy.
Well, Grace, so you've written your own. Brian, you told me before the podcast began that you also wrote your own. And I guess you actually just told everybody else as well. So there we go. Leslie, how about you? What have you brought for us today?
You know what? I thought of the theme, unique, and I don't think I can give credence to that theme. So I decided to highlight one of the more unique voices, I think, in the fan fiction community with a beautiful story, and I hope you enjoy it.
All right, yeah, I'm excited to hear that later. But starting us off
Oh, boy.
on our running order, our first story is going to come from Brian Edwards. Hey, Brian, first appearance on the podcast. This used to be a live show. Have you appeared on the live show?
No, but I've been to the live show. I mean, that to be fair, I've been to just about every show, so that's not exactly a rare occurrence. But I have seen the live version of the show, and I've listened to the podcast as well.
All right, well, it's time to see if we can etch your names in the annals of history. The annals of history? I guess it would be annals on this show.
And it's going to be.
Tell us a little bit about your story, if you please.
Okay.
Or
well, it's called, all one word, Who Cummit? WHOUMMIT is the question.
Oh, boy.
And so I'll begin here. It was a dark and horny night.
Oh, wow.
Mr. Body was dead. He was on his back on the floor in the study. Surrounding him were 6 suspects. Miss Scarlet, mysterious and sensual woman. She could seduce anyone faster than a cheetah could take down a porterhouse steak. Colonel Mustard, a dashing and handsome mustachioed man who just screamed "Kilf." Colonel, I'd like to fuck. Mrs. White, the widow who wore all black in mourning, covering up a body that would leave any man moaning. Mr. Green, the suave and sleek businessman who would sell his own grandmother for profit, but at least you know he'd pay for a nice dinner before a night of fucking. Peacock, the senator's wife whose slightly more matronly appearance still gave off the vibe of a sexy, stern librarian or a lusty warden for a woman's prison. Professor Plum, nerd hot. If you're one of his college students, you definitely want to earn some extra credit. Somehow was still hot. And also with them was Wadsworth, the very British and very sexy butler. While he wore the proper butler's uniform, you just knew he was super ripped underneath. A crash of lightning illuminated the sky over the sprawling New England estate. It was the fall of 1954, and these 6 strangers had been invited for a mysterious dinner party. Only now there was a sexy mystery afoot. Back in the study, the guests were shocked by their host's now dead body sprawled on the floor. Around the room were various open black boxes and weapons. A dagger, a revolver, a rope, a lead pipe, a wrench, and a candlestick. Before he had died, Mr. Body, with his 5 o'clock shadow, jet black hair, and a jawline so sharp you could slice some firm butter with it, had revealed that he had been the mystery man who had been blackmailing them all for months. Salacious secrets including Mrs. Peacock's affair with the senator's aide, Colonel Mustard's affair with his own staff sergeant, Miss Scarlet's very successful Hollywood brothel, Mr. Green's affair with his own sister-in-law, Professor Plum's various affairs with staff and students at his Ivy League school, and Mrs. White's mysteriously deceased husband, and also her many affairs.
Okay, yeah.
No one had been happy to see Mr. Body, even though they all wanted to fuck him. He had each of them with wrapped gifts containing those various weapons. He knew that Wadsworth wanted to gather them all together to try to end his blackmailing scheme, but he warned them that if they went to the police, he would expose them in court. But if instead they killed Wadsworth and then enjoyed a nice fuckfest, he might consider just forgetting the whole thing. The scheme backfired, though, when, after he turned off the lights, only a few moans, a grunt, and a gunshot were heard. With the lights back on, it was his body that was stiff, not just his cock. Accusations flew, but they all insisted they hadn't killed him. Panicked, Wadsworth revealed that he had earlier arranged for the police to come and arrest Mr. Body. Now they only had about 45 minutes left to find the culprit. Hearing a disturbance outside the room, they opened the door to find Yvette, the lusty French maid, eavesdropping on them, while simultaneously and furiously masturbating. She was both afraid because of the murder, but also incredibly turned on by it. She insisted she was innocent. Suspecting the cook, the only other person they knew to be in the house, they raced to the kitchen to confront Mrs. Ho. The shapely and sexy woman was, unfortunately, also dead, stabbed with Peacock's dagger. Colonel Mustard, taking charge, suggested splitting up into pairs to search the house. Mrs. Peacock and Professor Plum searched the basement. As they wove their way through the cobwebs and half-open boxes of tax papers and old yearbooks, they were overcome by their lust. Soon Professor Plum mounted Mrs. Peacock up against the hot furnace. His professorial penis penetrated her womanly entrance as she cried out in lust.
Oh no.
Okay, let's pause here. Let's pause here for just a sec. Does anyone have any guesses? Because I'm thinking I don't trust fucking Wadsworth. I don't trust Wadsworth. I think this son of a bitch did it. Paul, what do you think? Grace?
Well, he does have Wad in the name.
What do you mean about that?
I got distracted by the professor's nerd hot, and I haven't really been able to think about anything else, so I have no guesses.
Classic. Anyway,
All right,
sorry.
so
Continue.
Upstairs on the main floor, Colonel Mustard, having already fucked Miss Scarlet on the billiard table, was walking egg by the candlestick she had earlier been gifted. Asked if he wanted more, ever the military man, he yelled out, "Sir, yes, sir!" as she continued to fuck him. On the second floor, Mrs. White had Wadsworth tied up with her rope. She was riding his face like a bucking bronco and teasing him with Peacock's dagger, edging him closer with fear. Up in the attic, Mr. Green and Yvette were going down on each other, 69ing next to the boxes of old Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, all right.
Using the own pipe, along with the gifted lead pipe, to further bring her to the edge of ecstasy. Moments later, a knock on the front door brought the half-dressed guests back together to answer it. A stranded motorist, wearing a wet trench coat and little else, was having car trouble and wondered if he could use their phone. Not wanting him to see the bodies of Mr. Body and the cook in the study, they ushered him quickly to the lounge. After they left him locked in there to resume their search, someone snuck back in, fucked him, then bashed his head in with the rat.
Oh no.
A policeman soon arrived. He had noticed the motorist's abandoned car and came to investigate. Left alone in the library, he made a phone call. No, not to his station or his family, but instead to a phone sex line, as he pulled out his cock and furiously jerked off. But before he could come to completion, he was bashed on the head with a lead pipe. A singing telegram girl arrived and knocked on the door. She had a song in her heart, but instead was pumped full of lead. And then also shot. Hearing the gunshot brought the other guests out of the woodwork. Looking for the victim, they instead found Yvette dead in the billiard room, strangled by the rope and obviously freshly fucked. Soon found the other bodies, gathered them all in the study, and responded the only way they knew how. A 12-way orgy. Yes, 12.
Obviously.
Professor Plum plumbed the depths of Yvette's still warm vagina.
Oh,
Colonel Mustard and Mrs. Peacock took turns fucking each other, both with his own cock and the revolver. They managed to even get the motorist to cup her breasts while she took both he and Colonel Mustard inside of her.
God.
Miss Scarlet and Mrs. White found new uses for the wrench and the rope, and they showed the cop's body a thing or two. Mr. Green and Wadsworth took turns fucking each other, the cook and the singing telegram girl. When the police finally arrived and burst in to find the guests and corpses in the midst of the full-on orgy, they were taken aback, both by their shock and their own horniness.
Oh, God.
The chief finally composed himself and demanded answers. The guests pulled themselves together and finally made the long overdue confession. They all did it. In the lounge, with the candlestick, and the lead pipe, and the dagger, and the rope, and the wrench, and the revolver. But if you want to know who killed Mr. Body, it was autoerotic asphyxiation. The end.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I still don't like Wadsworth. Wadsworth did something.
No, I think he deserves that side eye. But Brian, I have a question
please.
for you. Is this officially a fan fiction of the board game or the film?
The film with
That's what I
a
wanna know.
little bit of the board game, but mostly the film. Yeah.
Okay, that's very important.
So if I listen to this podcast again, like if I listen to this episode again later today, is the ending of that going to be different or?
Yeah, if you have to listen to this, you have to download the podcast 3 different times to get each ending different.
Wow.
Yeah, there's one ending for Google Podcasts, one ending for Stitcher.
Wow.
But you have to review it with 5 stars before you get there.
I've heard the alternate ending.
That's how we get you. Fuck, man, that was good. I want to give a particular shout out to the phrase, obviously freshly fucked.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, the opening line came to me in the dream, the dark and horny night, and then
Oh, yeah.
when I woke up, I go, oh, they all did it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, there is the ending right there. Perfect, they all did it. Perfect.
Yeah, walk us through that. So you dream that up, and do you wake up like in a cold sweat and like I gotta write some shit down?
Or is it like a Lady Macbeth wake up where you're trying to wash the dirtiness off you for the rest of the day?
I woke up and go, wait, that wasn't bad. And I go, what if I could do that for the ending? You know what? Yeah, I think I have to write this now.
Well, we're glad you did, Brian.
Absolutely,
The prophecy came true.
I think it's the first instance of necrophilia on the show.
Oh, really?
Hey,
I think so.
all right.
Aw, Brian,
Break
congrats.
that cherry.
I always knew you could do it.
Wow. Oh. And that was like a no-brainer for me. I was like, yeah, they will.
Of course, yeah, you got it.
He was like, that was not even a reach. That's where this was going to go always.
Your first instinct.
I think this means that what Brian is really saying is your guests have been too vanilla thus far.
Wow. Really,
Step up your game, everyone else in the Toronto comedy community.
yeah,
Oh, them's fighting words.
really throwing the gauntlet down. Well, let's see if you can get past Grace and Leslie first before you start calling out everybody else who's been on the show. Thank you again, Brian. That was truly demented. We're going to move on from that story and go with our first bonus game of the episode. And as per usual, this is a one I love, and it's called A Rose by Any Other Name. How it works is I'm going to give you the title of a story, and the title only, that I found on fanfiction.net. And based on that title, I would like you to try and guess the property that it was written about. Sound good?
Love it.
Yep.
Alrighty, well, let's get right into it. The first
Wait, how do we
title,
buzz in? Just say the thing, or do we say our names?
Just screech.
Yeah, you could sort of stream of consciousness.
Okay.
Go with it.
Okay.
I don't have buzzers, unfortunately. And if I did, they'd all be here. We're recording this remotely. You should have brought your own buzzer, Leslie.
God damn it. Next time.
Just go. Eh.
Okay, that's the sound. If you want to buzz in, you go.
That was a really terrible
It
noise.
sounded like someone was strangling a duck.
That was the worst buzzer noise ever.
This is just foreshadowing for my erotica later.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god.
If you like
Oh,
that sound,
geez.
listen on.
All right. Well, the first title that I've brought for you today is A Hunter's Return.
Hunter.
Off the top, I'm going to guess, what's that franchise with Katniss Everdeen?
Oh, The Hunger Games.
Hunger.
Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, Hunger Games.
Okay.
Okay, I think it's those like Snow White and the Huntsman movies.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll remind that
I
they did
don't
not buzz in, so
Kristen
I don't know if those
Stewart.
answers count, but I'm going to my guess is Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel. Okay. So we've got three. They're all very, fairy tale kind of angle for two of them. And then we've got The Hunger Games for one. I'm not sure any of them are particularly close. I'm going to give you a hint.
Is it a Hunter Biden fan fiction?
It's not a Hunter Biden fanfiction.
He's important.
Good, that
I'm
criminal.
I'm not sure I want to reference that and then attract the wrong kind of attention to this.
I want a clue.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you a clue, and we'll see if we can get a little closer. And the clue that I have for you is 1980s.
1980s. Say the original title, please. Or
The
say the
show
title again,
Hunter?
please.
The title is A Hunter's Return.
A Hunter's Return. 1980s. 1980s.
It's not the show Hunter, because that was an 80s show.
It is not the show Hunter.
Eh.
Okay.
Rambo. My guess is
Ooh.
Rambo.
Okay.
I'm going to guess, I think the first Predator movie was in the 80s, so I'll go with that.
That's pretty
Okay.
good. Oh, that's good.
Grace?
What happened in the 80s? I don't know. I don't remember anything besides my own birth, which I remember.
The Berlin
vividly.
Wall fell down.
Yeah. Okay. The Berlin Wall
Secret
fell down.
government agents dug up
80s.
famous guys and ladies. That happened in the 1980s.
Yeah. I made them using genetic copies.
Yep.
I'm gonna say it was a royal family fan fiction about hunting at Balmoral. And the reason it's 80s is because Prince Charles and Princess Diana feature heavily in it. Yeah.
So it is not a Princess Diana fanfiction. Brian gets the point here because it is a Predator fanfiction.
Wow.
Yeah!
Very good.
Wow.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, that's very plausible.
Yeah. And Rambo was a damn good guess.
Oh, thank you.
That was very good.
And my guess also was made.
Sure. I liked your
It happened.
I liked your
No
buzzer
one
sound the
can
most,
deny
though.
it. Thanks. Bonus point?
These are all bonus points in this game.
Okay, so that means yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Our second title of the round is Out of Sight, Out of Mind.
Out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
I think the Matrix.
Okay, The Matrix.
Eh.
I like it. Yep.
My guess is Scent of a Woman.
Oh.
Ooh.
All right.
God.
Yahuwah.
I want to hear what that fanfiction is.
Is that your new buzzer sound?
That is officially my new buzzer sound.
All right, so whoever has, I'll give another bonus point to whoever has the best buzzer sound by the end of this round.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. God.
I thought to go mine. Out of sight, out of mind. I'm gonna guess like something Hitchcock related. I'm thinking like Dial M for Murder or something.
Okay, so we have Dial M for Murder. We have Scent of a Woman. And sorry, Grace, what was yours?
That's a good sign that it was right. The Matrix.
The Matrix. That's right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna give it to Grace. I think.
Yes.
Because, well,
You want to give us
You
an
can't take it back
What's going
now.
on here? Shenanigans.
I can't take it back.
I will cry.
I'm trying to find parallels between things. So Out of Sight, Out of Mind is a fan fiction about The Incredibles.
Oh, God.
Yeah, there's some action.
Yeah,
There's
so
some-
both action, both feature people with incredible abilities.
Mm-hmm. So like some weird kind of political allegories happening in both.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah.
Wasn't The Incredibles based on an Alfred Hitchcock movie though?
It was not.
Wasn't it like Marnie?
I'm gonna give Grace the point. We're gonna move on. I've got one more title for this round, and that title is Chasing Tail.
My first thought was Chasing Amy, but no.
Hooah! Sonic the Hedgehog.
Leslie's buzzing
Sonic the
in.
Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay.
Oh, that's so good.
Meh. Mine is the like Roadrunner.
Okay. Yeah.
Meh. Mine would be Tailspin.
Oh, damn, that's good.
Tailspin. Why does that sound so familiar?
Oh.
It's like Baloo and all those from the Jungle Book.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's not.
If we're all wrong, I have a second guess. We're all wrong,
If we're all wrong, I have a fourth guess.
I can say that everybody is wrong.
Oh,
damn it.
I thought Sonic was right.
I mean, yeah, you're welcome to change your guess if you think you can get closer.
Hooah!
Mm.
DuckTales.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
So just going with all Disney
Yeah. And things with tail.
90s Disney properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Aristocats.
Oh. Oh.
So, 101 Dalmatians, since we're chasing the Disney line.
That's not bad. That's good.
We're literally chasing tails.
All right. So everybody's had two cracks at this. I'm going to give the point on this one to Brian.
Oh.
It is not 101 Dalmatians, but it is Paw Patrol.
Oh,
Wow.
we were all, I think, in the right
We're in the right
kind of
ballpark.
arena.
We
Yeah.
were dancing around it, yeah. So Golden. That's our first game.
Can we get a scoring
I think
update, Paul?
Yeah, Brian got he got one spot on, and then he got one. I'd say close enough. He knew it was about dogs anyway.
Yeah, I knew.
So I think Brian's going to take this game.
Who gets the final bonus point for best buzzer, or is that by the end of the episode?
I want to hear them all one more time, and then I'm just going to get my gut instinct.
Okay.
Leslie.
Hooah!
All right, Grace. And Brian. Brian's is definitely the one that sounds most like a buzzer.
I don't know that was our goal
no,
post
I think
here.
That was
I
our
like
criteria. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
I think I like Leslie's buzzer noise the most. Sorry, Grace.
That's fair. That's okay. I still felt proud of the things I made my throat do.
We got it. We got
Maybe
it.
that'll
clean.
be a
Put
line
that-
from my fan fiction later.
Welcome to the show. All right. I did also want to share with you during my searches for these titles, I did find a couple of other good titles that I couldn't put in for whatever reason. One of them was nobody would have ever been able to guess this, but it was Osmosis Jones Kink Shames You.
Mhm.
Was the title of the story, which is actually about Aaron Carter.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like I would have gotten that one.
maybe. Yeah, I think if anybody could. And then
I think if you had gotten that one, that is you win the podcast forever. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's a shame.
done.
It's a shame, but such is my burden.
Mhm.
And then another good one that I found that I couldn't put in the game because it's a guessing game, but the title of the story was Lion King: Mystery of the Stolen Dick.
Wow.
So I've earmarked that one for later, and I'm gonna read that on my own time just to
Yeah.
see if I can solve the
Let
mystery.
us know what happens with the stolen
Yeah.
dick. I want to
Yeah,
know.
I hope it
Yeah,
gets
please.
found. Is it going to be as good a mystery as Brian's was? Maybe. But it's time to compare another story directly to Brian's, and that is going to be a story brought to us by Leslie Cserepy.
Oh wow. Here we go. So yeah, so like I said, I did not write this one. This is yeah, like I said, a unique voice in the world of fan fiction. I think one of the kind of great writers of our time. Of course, I'm referring to Hello, This is Pizza Hut. So Hello, This is Pizza Hut wrote this story. I won't reveal the title because it, I want you guys to discover what this is about as we kind of go on. It's pretty obvious off the top, but don't want to ruin the surprise here. And yeah, please just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride, guys. Chapter 1. Summary. Wake me up. I can't wake up. Notes.
Oh no.
Do I have any excuse for this? Washington was 10 foot taller. Taller is spelt with a 2. Hamilton was feeling like a fuckjing submissive, whatever the fuck that meant in the Revolution. Anyway, spelled with an 8. Lexington was in Washing Machine's office because some business shit no one cares about. So Washington said, "Suck my dickle dongle." He whipped and nay-nayed his cock out. Hamstring fainted because holy fick, that was some big cock. Then he woke up under Washington's thighs. S-O-N, washing dishes said. Ham Slice was about to cry because of how beautiful that fucking penis was, but instead he just ate it. Kill me, what is it? Chapter 2, the sequel. Summary. Save me from the nothing I've become. Wait for it.
Okay.
Wait for it. Okay, my name is Aaron Burr. I hate that fucking slice of ham. And he needs to shut up, so I'm gonna put my dick in his mouth. It's the perfect plan. So he was, spelled with a 2, in the library, that fucking nerd. And I said, shut up for fucking sake. And he was writing because this is a Baronor / Lexington fic, and in every single one of them, Alex is writing. And Axel said, no, or some smart-ass comment like that. I growled and turned into a cat. I have evolved into my final form. So I turned back into a humanitarian because I'm not a fucking furry or some shit. I shoved my dick in his ear hole, and Ham sliced meows. What the fuck? Chapter 3. Colon. O. Summary. Guess who got high again? Notes. Do I apologize? Dear Diary, it's me, Eliza. Today, me and Axel got married, so we did sext. And Jelixia and Pugly told me to because we did girl talk. And ooh boy, it was dang hot like a fried egg. So we were in the altar at like 3 a.m. because we're still married happy and wanted to celebrate with conky sex. So I said, when we gonna do it? And he said, shit. He cursed. What a bad boy. Hang on. And he pulled a condom out of his ass. I said, you is ready? Boy, her tat is hot, but we can't do the thing. And his eyelids pouted. And he did, but we gotta. And I said, no, my pussy belongs to Jesus. Amen. And then his eyebrows raised up to his hairline, and he did, how about we do it in, anus? I was shocked. How could I, a small town girl in a big world, let him do the anusal? I said, no, 7. You can do oral presentations on the fiscal policy of Andrew Jackson, though. He moaned an erotic melon noise. Does anyone want to give an erotic melon noise? What you think that means? And that's our new buzzing sounds, Paul.
Okay, yeah, I'll make note of that.
Here we go. He moaned an erotic melon noise and said, okay, and went down to my vajayjay, but I stopped him. No, not there. And I brought my elbow up to his nose because sodomy is illegal and I am a law-abiding citizen. He licked it with his eyelashes and impregnated me. It was a hoot.
All right.
Chapter 4. Chapter 4. Summary. I'm back and stronger than ever. Notes. Why am I updating this? Why can't I let it die? Be free. Burr says, hey, Hamiljipikin, I saw that you have an affair, but did you hear about this dead guy? No, not really. I'm in the middle of a debt plan, said the Hamel man coyly, mischievously, but also red for deaths. Oh, well, someone died. Kinda wanna die too. Fam, me too. IGTG. But now we're going to suddenly change the perspective because fuck you, you're a piece of shit. I fucking hate this. Hi, my name is Alexander Hamilton, and I have long ebony black hair. That's how I got my name, with black streaks and black tips that reaches my neck and brown eyes like something brown, and a lot of people tell me I'm like Macbeth. Author's note, if you don't know who the hell that is, get the hell out of here. I'm not related to George Washington, but I wish I was because he's a major fucking hottie. One day, Hamilton was doing some Treasury of State shit, and damn Jefferson said, hey, we gonna have that meeting or what? He had an obnoxious British French accent. Alex Danbender hated him. And Ham said back, go fuck yourself. But yeah, lol. So, Ton, that's Hamilton but shorter, got there And they sat there for 2 days talking about economics. They know the politics. And Jefferson was like, yeah, okay, banks are fine. Nice. Now I can stop fucking Maria Reynolds. Yeah, I know. LMFAO. But also suck my dick. What? No. Suck my dick or no money. I don't feel comfortable with this. No. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. I misinterpreted your answer. I won't cross your boundaries again, and I won't do anything you say no to. Chapter 5. Colon. Chapter Fove. Summary. I had to look at the Wikipedia of the digestive system for this.
Oh, no.
Hamley Tone wanted attention as usual. This is because he's a tomcat, and he's not only wanting attention like a tomcat, but he's also purring like some furry. But also, he was busy because he writes like he's running out of time, spelled like the spice. And this fic cannot fucking have Hamilton not being busy. I fucking refuse. He has to be busy and also a slut. So he was purring, which rhymes with burring, which is closely related to the word burr, and I'm smart. And whining, but also resisting sex because George Well-Washed Manning told him to write a declaration of neutrality letter to the House of Representatives in London the size of his dick. Jesus Christ. He has a lot to write. So Lawrence is not fucking having this shit. He cha-cha slides up to Hamilton and whispers licks in his ear. Hey, baby girl slut. You want me to grow 3 dicks to put in your exocrine gland? Yeah, boy. Use me like a fucking dirty whore.
What the fuck is going on?
I have self-esteem issues and I need to cope, but I can't because the great washing machine told me specifically not to fuck anyone while working. Okay, so we can't piss off daddy, huh? Winky smiley face. Yeah, exactly. Fuck that shit though, LMAO. Now I'm turned off. Lick my pancreas, please. Winky shocky face. Lawrence stuck a dick, grew it himself, organic, no laxatives or artificially flav or ink, in Alexander's leg asshole. Yeah, baby girl, you like it rough and TUFF. Yep. Sure do, sport. I mean, adult boy. Are those your roles? We went over this. My role is a sexually frustrated gremlin who eats only sex to live, and your role is a prostitute who needs to give me sex in order for you to live. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's so fucked up with ideas of consent and insulting to sex workers. I can't even begin. Okay, my dear boy, honey, sweet umbrella lizard Lawrence. Little did they know that Burr was watching in this.
Oh, no.
He was inside a pencil costume and pretended to be Hamilton's pencil the entire time because Burr is an unfunny creep and we will refuse to elaborate on that idea because fuck you, I fucking hate you, you piece of shit. The end.
Okay.
I felt like I was having a stroke.
I mean, you probably
time.
were. You should get checked.
Oh my god.
I don't think there would be any way for me to tell, honestly.
No, I've never seen the Hamilton musical, but I assume that's fairly
Yeah, it's
accurate.
pretty much a 1-to-1.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
It's kind of boring and a little bit vanilla for the show, but that's it. If you go see it.
Yeah, but like banks are fine.
Yeah, banks are fine. Banks are fine. I think that's what we learned from this piece.
What was everybody's favorite name for Hamilton in that. I think mine was the Hamel Man.
The hell?
I liked the Hamel Man too. That was what I thought of. I like Hamilton.
Hamilton is pretty good.
And also
Hamilton. Ton.
Just
ton.
ton.
Yeah.
Ton was, that's good. Save some time.
And I think there was at least one Aaron Burr that I enjoyed.
Oh, poor Burr in his pencil costume.
Oh my god.
He was there the entire time, though. What a twist at the end, right?
Funny creep.
He's an unfunny creep.
Yeah.
Oh, and Night Shyamalan.
I really like how it, I mean, you can say about the musical that it has kind of updated the story for a modern audience. And I think this went even further with the use of, kind of internet speak and a more casual tone. I really think this is furthering the work of Lin-Manuel Miranda.
That's what I think too. And, that's why I shout out this unique voice. Hello, this is Pizza Hut, wherever you are. Keep writing, Keep
writing more chapters, even if you don't know why you're doing.
Oh my god, I have been waiting for new chapters. This person hasn't updated in quite a while, but I do check on it kind of regularly to see if there'll be enough.
When was the last?
I hope so.
When was the last update?
So. I hope I can come back and read maybe chapters 5 through 10. Who knows?
Oh
my god. But I think there's enough there.
We can only hope.
I think that was plenty. I did also enjoy the homage there to Ebony Darkness or Eneby, yeah.
Yes.
Eneby Darkness, Dementia, Raven Way. Godspeed wherever you are. All right. That gave me a headache.
Yeah, it was like the listening version of looking at bright neon lights.
That's a very good description, and I think on that note, we'll move on to our second bonus game. Now, this is a game that we've played on every episode. It's called Fill That Gap. Mm-hmm. I'm going to read the beginning of a line from a story that I found on fanfiction.net, and I'd like you all to have a go at completing the line, filling the second half of the line. Now, normally, when playing this game, each line would be from a different story. But what I've done today is I've taken all of these lines from the same story.
Ooh.
Wow.
Unique.
So we're all going to go on a little journey.
Unique.
With this story. So here comes the first line. Mm-hmm. It begins, "Ooh, I never thought I'd see the day," Homer said. "He took his penis out and blank." So how do we think that finishes?
Can you read it again?
Absolutely. "Ooh, I never thought I'd see the day," Homer said. "He took his penis out and blank."
Hooah!
Leslie?
Handed it to Mr. Burns.
Okay. Brian?
He fucked the asshole-shaped donut.
Okay, yeah. He took his penis out and he fucked the asshole-shaped donut.
With pink frosting and sprinkles, of course.
Oh, yeah, classic.
I'm gonna go a little vanilla here and say slipped it into Marge's awaiting asshole. This had been something he'd been asking for his birthday for years.
Oh, man, you don't know how close you are. You almost got like a lot of specific words correct.
That's I promise I have not read this fan fiction before.
The line actually reads, "Ooh, I never thought I'd see the day," Homer said. "He took his penis out and slid it into Satan's gaping asshole."
Wow.
Who saw
now
Satan coming? That's insane.
Here's the thing. It's not actually Satan. It is Santa Claus, and that's a typo.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The story continues.
Mm-hmm.
Santa moaned in pleasure as Homer gripped Santa's bountiful booty. Homer's balls blank.
Oh,
Brian?
Homer's balls jingled like jingle bells.
Nice. I like it.
Meh.
Grace?
Homer's balls turned red and green with the Christmas spirit.
Oh, that's good. I like that too.
Thank you.
Ooh-ah!
Leslie?
Homer's balls said dough with each slap against Santa.
Okay. The full line actually reads, Santa moaned in pleasure as Homer gripped Santa's bountiful booty. Homer's balls slapped against Santa's like they're an office toy you see on one of the Walmarts.
What office toy?
Like the balls that sort of clack into each other.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
An office toy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll allow
All
it.
right. I'll allow. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
We'll let that one
Yeah.
slide.
Grace and I will allow it. Brian, will you allow that one?
Grudgingly.
Good. Yeah, I think we can all agree we're grudging about it.
Oh, we're totally
Oh.
grudging.
I don't know if anybody's going to get a point for that one.
There.
Mine jingled like jingle bells. That's jingle bells are like silver balls, right?
Okay, that is true. Does anybody else want to make a case for their own answer?
No.
I mean, I think we all know that Homer Simpson's balls have tiny mouths and they can say dough. I think that is canon. So
It's canon.
I think that was in one of those reverse timelines, kind of like the Principal Skinner episode where they kind of went back on it later.
it might have been a Treehouse of Horror now that I think about it.
Nah. One of those alternate dimensions he went to
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
with the toaster. All right, well, shit. We'll give it to Brian then.
Ooh.
He wants the point. And our story concludes. Homer then comes so hard, filling Santa's stocking with blank.
Yellow cum. Ooh, yellow cum.
Can you read the sentence leading up to it again?
Distracted by Leslie's blurting out of yellow cum.
I'm sorry. I was so excited I didn't even buzz in. That's my
man.
faux pas, but I think I did get a buzz in there.
The line begins, Homer then comes so hard, filling Santa's stocking with...
Filling Santa's stocking with his fresh new fallen snow. I'm sorry.
No, don't be.
I'm
It's
sorry
a
to be
beautiful
part
image.
of the guest.
Brian?
Filling Santa's stocking with holiday cheer.
Aww.
I
very
hope
nice.
that's it.
That's not it.
Oh.
The line actually reads, Homer then comes so hard, filling Santa's stocking with his cream of broccoli soup.
Ew,
That's
no.
not Christmassy.
That's not even a reference.
They really gave up here at the end.
Did he eat it earlier? I don't understand.
Mushroom, I would understand, but
You know, now that I think back, I also think that the reference to the office toy was not very Christmassy either. So
No.
this is just
no.
I think we've been giving this author more credit than they deserve with our very clever guesses.
Oh, yeah.
Do we know the author on this?
I'm going to give the point on this one to Leslie, I think, maybe on enthusiasm alone.
Thank you. Yellow cum.
Who are Yellow Cub? Who are Yellow Cub? All right, so that's a point for Grace. It's a point for I think everybody got a point on this one.
Yeah.
All right, we're all
Meaning that
on
the
the floor.
whole thing is a wash.
That's truly the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, sharing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and this will be coming out, I think, second week of December, so it'll be Christmassy enough by then.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's coming up, huh?
Just think of all the gifts that you can't go out to stores to buy or you'll die.
We've got one more story to hear today, and that story is brought to us by Grace Smith.
Hello. That's me, your friend.
It sure is.
Here with a story for you. This is the first fan fiction I've written since high school. This is very exciting.
Wow.
I was big into it in high school.
What was the fan fiction you wrote in high school?
Oh, I was very into the Daria fandom.
Huh.
And I was definitely more of a consumer of fan fiction than I was a writer of it, but I tried my hand occasionally. I really loved very dramatic, serious Daria fan fictions in which characters died. So that says a lot about me as a 14-year-old. Anyway, the story, nobody dies. It's going to be okay.
Okay.
So a slight preamble. That I think we've all been finding social distancing very horny. So I have been very drawn to, I've been very drawn to sort of period dramas in which the sort of courtships had to be very far apart as my expression of that. So this is a Pride and Prejudice fan fiction.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just wanted to see what are people's familiarity with the basic plot machinations of Pride and Prejudice.
Very, very basic.
Okay.
There's the pride of lions and
there's a mystery about a stolen dick.
Yeah, exactly.
That the pride of lions.
That's the prejudice. That's the prejudice.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give for the listeners at home as well. So you got Lizzie Bennet, who's our heroine. She's from like a reasonably not too high up and not too low down family. She's trying to get married. You got Mr. Darcy, who's like a bit standoffish and snobbish.
Mm-hmm.
They insult each other's pride and also are prejudiced early on in the story and spend the whole time fighting, but then eventually fall in love at the end and get together, despite his family thinking that she's too low for him. So I think that's all you need to know. I've included some footnotes throughout the story for anything that needs an explanation.
Good. And we will be
so I think that'll clear things up as we go. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Yes. Or I'll also accept a final essay in lieu of an exam.
Okay.
You know, it's nice that we got on this episode, we got a rundown of just the basic plot of Pride and Prejudice, whereas on the last episode, we got a very thorough rundown of the Omegaverse and like wolf science and how that relates to erotic fan fiction. So I'm glad we're raising the tone just a little bit.
Just slightly. I mean, I too have given a very detailed rundown of the Omegaverse on a different podcast. So I think I'm trying to learn how to be a little bit briefer in my summaries.
I'm glad the information is getting out there.
Yes. So this fan fiction is called The Distance Betwixt Us.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, good. Yeah.
Here we go. Our story takes place on a wet and warm summer morning. Mr. and Mrs. Darcy find themselves not wet and warm, but cold and dry, sitting alone in the breakfast room of Mr. Darcy's wealthy aunt, Lady Catherine de Bourgh. First footnote. I looked up where rich people would eat breakfast in this era, and they would indeed have a breakfast room.
Fuck.
Mrs. Darcy, second footnote, the former Lizzie Bennet, whom I shall call the henceforth in this story for clarity, and Mr. Darcy, third footnote. Mr. Darcy's first name is Fitzwilliam, which is very silly, so I'm going to continue to call him Mr. Darcy. Had at this point been married for 1 year, and much like any married couple, were completely sexually frustrated. They missed the crackling tension of their contentious courtship, witty banter across parlor rooms, flirtations exchanged while standing on either side of a grand piano, furtive glances from opposite shores of a medium-sized pond. Who could delight in a simple penis in a regular vagina when both had previously known the thrill of nothing but the accidental brush of your beloved's fingers once in a 6-month period, especially after each had just insulted the other's family and manners? Very hot. They first assumed it was the distance they missed, the look but no touch, or even better, look and be literally too far away from each other to touch. They had attempted to incorporate distance into their date nights. They'd even positioned themselves in opposite wings of their grand estate and had provided each other with strip shows via Zoom. Zoom was the fun name they'd coined for their binoculars. But Nothing they tried was enough for Mr. Darcy to maintain an erection worthy of his class and status. Since Since they had been staying at the grand estate of Lady Catherine de Bourgh, their sex life had further deteriorated. They hadn't had a moment's privacy since they arrived. Oh, wait, we're in England. A moment's privacy since they first arrived. Lady Catherine de Bourgh and her sickly daughter, Lady Anne de Bourgh, demanded their presence at every meal, at every walk around the grounds, at every gap in the schedule in between meals and walks. Whenever the Darcys tried to sneak off for a moment alone, Lady Catherine de Bourgh would haughtily remind them of how recently she had disapproved of their marriage and how quickly her approval could be withdrawn. Even now in the breakfast room, as they waited for his aunt and cousin to come down, Mr. Darcy could feel the tension of unfulfilled desire radiating off his wife, just as wealth and privilege radiated off the many elegant staircases of Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Fuck yeah, here we go.
I have heard from my sister that it has been rainy in Netherfield, Lizzie announced. Footnote. Netherfield being the estate of Mr. Bingley, Darcy's friend, who married Jane, Lizzie's sister. So it's been rainy in Netherfield, Lizzie announced. She couldn't help but spitefully add, my region called Nether has never been more parched. Yeah. Had to include the footnote so that wordplay would make sense. Mr. Darcy's cheeks flushed from the sting of his wife's vicious burn. He knew drastic action was needed. My dear wife, I fear I must presently yawn, and I dare say extend my arm in a stretch. Lizzie caught his meaning immediately. Well, have the utmost care that your outstretched limbs do not come into contact with my personage. Oh, that would be a most inappropriate display of intimacy here in the breakfast room. Having established plausible deniability, Mr. Darcy let a yawn escape his supple, moistened lips. Lizzie shifted in her chair as if to stand and lifted her skirts and petticoats to ease her movement. In the process, a saucy finger breadth of ankle was revealed. Mr. Darcy closed his eyes, overwhelmed by his wife's bare leg skin. His arm began to extend in the aforementioned stretch. The tips of his fingers were now mere inches away from Lizzie's ankle. The suspense was so great, Lizzie was ready to collapse on the floor and hump Lady Catherine de Bourgh's very fine carpet. His fingertips now seconds away from touching her ankle. Closer. She could almost feel him. Closer. Closer. Mr. Darcy, what is the meaning of this? Lady Catherine de Bourgh, accompanied by the sickly Lady Anne, had entered the room without their even noticing. Aunt, I can explain, Mr. Darcy ejaculated desperately, but Lizzie interrupted. Lady Catherine, my husband was merely attempting to rekindle the flames of passion that have sadly abandoned us. By molesting your ankle in the breakfast room? Lizzie could feel Mr. Darcy's eyes boring into her, begging her to say nothing more. This only spurred her on to spill more truth and more, spill it all over the room. Yes, the last time we had spirited intercourse was before you finally approved our match. A hush of realization fell over Lizzie and Mr. Darcy. It all seemed so obvious now. It was not the distance that had excited them. It was the disapproval. Nothing kills a boner faster than familial acceptance. Say no more, said Lady Catherine de Bourgh. She whistled, and 3 servants rushed to her side. They loosened a few strategically placed laces, and her florid day dress fell away to reveal undergarments of leather straps, a leather thong, and leather thigh-high stiletto boots. Shocked, Lizzie and Mr. Darcy for the first time truly looked at the decor of the whole room. A spanking bench in the corner, stockades on the wall, endless displays of ball gags, even a cage hanging from the ceiling. They'd been so wrapped up in their sexual frustration they hadn't noticed. This was no breakfast room. This was Lady Catherine de Bourgh's infamous fuck room. Footnote. This is an example of an unreliable narrator. You, the reader, were led to believe this was a breakfast room when it was, in fact, a fuck room.
Wow.
Back to the story.
Thank you.
Lady Catherine flicked her whip its end tidily wrapped around Lizzie's wrists. The wealthy patroness was obviously skilled with the instrument. Ah! Lizzie cried in delicious pain as Lady Catherine yanked her away from Mr. Darcy. Stay over there, you middle-class temptress. Yes, Lady Catherine. Lizzie could finally feel the rains return to her nether field, flooding them like an English moor. And you, Lady Catherine turned to Mr. Darcy, as punishment for slumming it with this country gutter snipe, you must play with someone of your own class. No, Lady Catherine, not you. Mr. Darcy enjoyed BDSM as much as the next British aristocrat, but not his aunt. That was a step too far. Not me, you fool! The Lady Anne, my daughter, whom you should have married. Now she will take what you denied her.
Oh, no.
In a flash, more servants appeared to disrobe Lady Anne de Bourgh, her sickly pallor extended down her body, each rib clearly visible, her pubic hair a deathly white, her nipples blue-gray from poor circulation.
Oh my god.
Mr. Darcy shuddered with relief. Fucking an aunt was beyond him, but fucking a cousin he could do. His relief turned to curiosity as Lady Anne sauntered over to the dildo wall. Pick the largest one, Lady Catherine purred. My nephew is widely known to be a humongous asshole, so it's only fitting. Lady Anne's long, bony fingers brushed each dildo in turn until it arrived at a large, ornate brass phallus of intimidating length and width. Mr. Darcy watched in horrid anticipation while being disrobed by even more servants. He cried out as Lady Anne entered him from behind with the giant brass dildo. His noises caused Lizzie to moan in delight. Mr. Darcy had never uttered a sound during sex, a testament to his good breeding. Lady Catherine gave one more yank of the whip, pulling Lizzie to a kneeling position. You must watch from your knees. You know how I like the distinction of rank preserved. And so Mr. and Mr. Darcy, with the help of Lady Catherine de Bourgh and Lady Anne de Bourgh, productively spent the morning fixing their marriage, for it is a truth universally acknowledged that a married man in possession of a hot piece of ass wife must be in want of a foursome. The end.
Wow.
Oh, that was so good.
My goodness.
I just want to give a little shout out to some fan fiction authors that inspired me
Hell
in
yeah.
the writing of this. There was I already forget their name, but there was a particularly good one of Lady Catherine de Bourgh receiving just a lot of cunnilingus from one of her clergymen that she patronized while
Just a
ranting about
lot.
how much the whole story is happening while ranting about how much she hates Lizzie Bennet. And I feel like I tried to take some of the spirit of that here.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, the phrase, you middle-class temptress, is going to stick with me. It's very good.
What was it?
I mean,
Feverishly
haven't we all
ejaculating, or
Oh, he ejaculated desperately.
That's right.
It's one of my favorite things in old-timey books when words used to mean different things.
Yeah.
Because I'm immature and it's funny.
Oh, that was really, really excellent. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for letting me spread my filth.
Of course. Well, that was our third helping of filth today. So now that we've heard what everybody's brought and what everybody has offered into the Coctagon, it's time for us to choose a winner today. So, Leslie, let's start with you. Who do you think is today's champion?
This is tough, Paul. This is
Yeah.
tough. A lot of great stories. I'm going to remove myself from my voting as a sign of respect to my fellow competitors here. And
That's
it's
fair.
Very big of you.
It's so
A
close.
lot of other people haven't.
That's right. It's so close. It's so close between the two. But I think what tips my vote is that in the Pride and Prejudice story, it wasn't obvious that someone was freshly fucked. So I'm going to have to go with my friend Brian. I'm so sorry, Grace.
Wow.
But, a great showing all around.
That's okay.
Wow.
All right, we've got one vote for Brian. Well, let's go to Brian. Brian, who do you think was the champion today?
Oh, man. I learned so much from both of these. And I've never seen or listened to Hamilton, so I feel like I don't need to anymore. Sorry. I told people I'm losing money for that. And I had not read Pride and Prejudice. I think I'd seen the movie, but this was definitely, I want to see this as a sequel. Like, I learned a lot. I especially enjoyed the imagery of them. I think the wording was something like either side of a grand piano.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with Pride and Prejudice. It was just a damn delight. Wonderful.
Awesome. So we got one vote for Grace. Grace, who do you think was today's winner?
Oh, this is a really tough one because I really enjoyed I enjoyed the kind of clear worlds that both the Hamilton one and the Clue one operated in. I really felt like each created a unique world of their own. Like
Very
I
true,
felt
yeah.
transported by both. I am going to have to give it to Leslie. I really think that one of the measures of art is not just how it affects your mind, but how it affects your body.
Mm-hmm.
And I did truly feel viscerally affected, not necessarily for the better, but definitely viscerally affected by the one who viscerally brought it.
Agreed. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Wow.
You're welcome.
If I'm correct, though, that means we're all tied up at one apiece.
It's Christmas!
Well, I haven't had my say yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, but let's for a moment, let's all
just
briefly enjoy it being
let's
Christmas.
Yeah,
enjoy
we're all winners.
Enjoy
Well,
the feeling right now.
Yum, yum,
Enjoy the
yum.
eggnog and Christmas cookies, everyone.
Before I take it all away. Oh yeah, it is a really tough one. Leslie, I'm sorry, but I understood so little of what was happening in yours.
Yep.
It was like I had been strapped to a bench at like a bus depot in downtown New Jersey and was just listening to somebody scream at me for 10 minutes.
That's fair, and that's the risk with choosing this kind of difficult material,
Yeah.
But I think it needs to be out there en masse for the people, so I can take that away today, and that'll be my win. Hooah!
Yeah, don't get me wrong. You read it beautifully.
Much appreciated.
The only sense it made was from how good your reading of it was.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That helped a lot.
So if we get down to Brian and Grace, it's a really difficult decision for me, who I think is the champion today. And I mean, you both wrote your own, and a lot of times that'll be the tiebreaker for me, and I'll give the edge to the person who wrote their own. But you both wrote yours, and you both wrote incredible stories. So the edge for me is going to come down to the bonus games, and I believe that while everybody tied in the second one, Brian was the winner of the first bonus game. So your winner for this week's episode of The Pen is Mightier is Brian Edwards.
Wow.
Yay.
Wow.
Congratulations, Brian. Oh my God.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Wow.
Brian, the prophecy has come true.
Oh my goodness.
My dreams come true.
Oh my God,
literally.
it's snowing. It's snowing where you are. It's snowing in your
Guys,
room.
Santa's outside my window.
Oh my
Wow.
Santa?
He is getting fucked by Homer.
It's Homer.
Oh. Ugh. Upsetting.
I'm going to close my
Thank you.
curtain.
Well, I mean, thank you all so much for being on the show and sharing all of that with everybody. Oh, what a trio of excellent performances. Before we all say goodbye today, does anybody have anything they'd like to remind our audience of in terms of projects that you're working on?
Yeah, you can check out the Improv Punch Up. That's my podcast where the big Hollywood studios, they've come to us with clips or perhaps, and sometimes even full movies, full properties of things that just aren't good enough and they need to be punched up. So me and my host, we do it with Improv. It's called the Improv Punch Up. It's at www.podcavern.com. Podcavern doing a lot of good stuff. You can also check out Ranked and Heroes Don't Do Paperwork and Disney Dummies. They do a lot of good stuff over there. So check it out.
Absolutely. Grace?
Yeah, you can find me on another podcast, which is the one that I do. It's called I'm Not Mad at You. My co-host is Cassie Cow, who's very funny. And we sort of take internet disputes we find either from Reddit or elsewhere and analyze the psychology of them. So if you're very curious about my sense of the human psyche from my fan fiction, then you can get a little more insight into that over there.
Perfect.
Nice.
Excellent, Brian. And
I don't have my own podcast, but there is a podcast, Toronto Locals. Miguel Gauthier and Spencer Thompson have a podcast where literally they mention me in every episode.
Okay, I take back my boo.
They love to throw me under the bus and make me just be the weirdest creep. It's very fun. Toronto comedians come on and they present a recipe. Miguel and Spencer pretend to be chefs, and it's very stupid.
What's it called again?
Chew on that.
Chew on that.
Chew on that. Excellent. Thank you all again. We had Leslie Cserepy, we had Grace Smith, and we had our champion for today, Brian Edwards. Congratulations.
Yay.
Thank you.
And Merry Christmas, one and all.
Merry
Christmas, you all.
Oh, my heart is very full.
God bless us, everyone.
Tiny Brian. All right.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.